Hello and welcome to these absolutely wonderful Formula 2 predictions for the 2026 season. Few things to get out of the way before we get underway. Number one, I've been sick over the week, so these came out, as you can see, on Twitter on Friday. But I'm making this video on Sunday night, and this is coming out on Wednesday. Wednesday also, 17th September being my birthday, so be a bit nice in the comments in regards to these terrible predictions. Okay, right, let's get into it. Campos, they love their Red Bull Juniors, Solov Traminits, they're both going to get promoted most likely, so just put them in there. High Tech, of course, it's High Tech TGR, full form. Toyota Gazoo Racing, of course, connected with High Tech, so I thought, okay, maybe Miata might go there for a season, as well for a third season in Formula 2. Whereas I think would get promoted, I know he's had an up and down season, but he's someone who I could possibly see coming up. Didn't know where to put him. Didn't know who to put in that second high tech seat, so just decided to go with him. Prema, I don't know where their current drivers would go and who would actually replace them, so I've just kept the lineup the exact same. Mini Montoya, Van Hoopen. Another important thing, of course, as I mentioned, I'm recording this on Sunday, this video in terms of this voiceover. I don't actually know whether it's been announced, but we are expecting Van Hoopen to be in the Trident car in Baku. So it should be announced by the time Wednesday comes around. If not, then I think we're very close to the announcement, considering they're racing, practicing a few days later on the Friday. So yeah, I've put Van Hoopen though for 2026 with ART. And I've put Dirksen alongside. Now, the reason why I've gone with Dirksen is he said about a third season, but he would want to do it with a better team. I don't see him getting to an Invicta. ART and Prema aren't those powerhouses as they used to be in Formula 2. So I think Dirksen ART could make sense. That team that can't attract the absolute top of the top drivers that we have. But Dirksen, you could get a solid option within that team as well with a driver team combination there. Going to some of the top teams as well. Invicta, Kamara, don't think I need to explain that one. We've seen the F3 champion jump up to F2 and do it with Invicta. And we have Pepe Marti. Now, with Marti, I feel like I do need to explain this a little bit. Marti is completely unsure about his options. And I think one of the big reasons is he's had 2 seasons now in Formula 2, a few race wins, but it's been okay-ish. I don't see him returning back to Formula 2 unless he's guaranteed the absolute top seat with a team like Invicta. You don't get really better than that. I can only see him going to an Invicta, to a Rodin, somewhere where he knows that he's got a realistic chance of fighting for the title. I think if he is to return to F2, it needs to be with a top team, and I think he'll go for something like that. Now, I didn't have anyone to put, to be fair, in that second Invicta seat, so I was like, okay, well, I guess there is at least somewhat of a chance that this could happen, so I've just gone a bit bold with that. Dams Lucas Oil Beganovic, he had his debut with Dams last year in Formula 2. The 2 rounds he did, very solid, very solid. So I'm a bit like, okay, let's see whether that partnership could be reignited. And I've put Stenstrom alongside. Wasn't really sure about where could Stenstrom go. I've heard a few talks about possibly Dams, so I've just decided to go with him there. This is the interesting one. Fittipaldi's confirmed. He's done. Brad Benavidez. Now, this is the interesting thing. As I've mentioned, I did this on Friday. Now, to be specific, because I need to be specific, I did it Friday morning. And I think it posted in the afternoon. And then I think it was a few hours after posting it, we got the confirmation that Brad Benavidez was staying in Formula 3. Now, just to be honest, I've not changed it for this TikTok voiceover. I've not decided to change it. I've just gone with what I actually said on Twitter that day. But yeah, we know I'm not going to be getting that point, so I'm not going to be here and give my reasons as to why. However, I would not be against possibly getting Benavidez the F2 seat maybe later on in the season, maybe for the final rounds of 2026. So who knows? Who knows? It may be somewhat correct, so I can get half a point. But yeah, that's like already wrong. But I've just kept it in as that's what I decided on that Friday. MP Motorsport, I've gone with Boyer. I feel like he'll definitely get promoted after 3 seasons of F3, so he's going to jump himself up there. I think that is to be expected. Don't know which team, so I just went with MP. Could be a good option. Girth has been with MP ever since he joined Formula 2 mid-season 2024, so I feel like, don't know where else to put him. May as well stay with that team, possibly, I feel like. Rodin, now this is the interesting one. Herto I've gone with to get himself to the Rodin Motorsport car because Well, we've had talk. We've had talk. The initial rumor was Prema, and there's been further talk about some other teams. Now, I don't actually see Herta and his team just looking through everything and just being like, okay, let's just satisfy ourselves with Prema. So I've been like, okay, if Rodin is one of the teams where there's been conversations, the Prema rumor came out some time ago. Things could have changed, things could have evolved. So I've gone a bit bold here and gone with Herta to Rodin Motorsport. We'll see whether that's correct or not. But yeah, I don't see them just settling for Prema completely. They may go for Prema in the end, but I feel like some conversations will go on in between, and there will be some contenders. Rodin could be one of them. And I've gone with Boysen alongside as well. 2 seasons in F3. He's been once again that like Pepe Marti style driver, but when it comes to Formula 3, few wins, few glances near the front. But other than that, so I'm a commentator and I do it for JB Motorsports on Formula 2 and Formula 3. You don't mention his name often. You'll mention it on the grid. You may mention it in a typical crazy Formula 3 race when he's eventually in a battle, but it's not going to be one where you're mentioning a lot. And I felt like I've not mentioned his name a lot this season. So I think that kind of tells me, but I feel like as he's done 2 seasons of F3, he might just want to get promoted and see whether he can click with F2, which we've seen it with a few drivers. Trident, as my voice isn't starting to go, I'm still sick. Roman Belinsky. Roman Belinsky, of course, has had a comeback from injuries. Great to see him fighting up there. Trident was the team that he was in with Frecker when he actually had that incident. Rodin Motorsport gave him a lifetime opportunity as well. They took a massive risk because there was no guarantee he was actually going to be ready to drive and be completely fit. He had to go through a lot of testing and a lot of stuff to get himself in this position. I can tell you from what I've heard, the first 2 laps of testing for him, it was off. The braking was off, everything was off, and he still actually goes through the effects of his injuries to this day. But he's now become a winner, and there's been a bit of rumours that he could be heading into Formula 2. So I've decided, okay, maybe a trip back to Trident could be an option, and I wouldn't be against Belinsky going to F2. Maybe one more season would possibly be a good idea, but from what I've heard and from what I've listened from him on a podcast, he had 3 seasons, I believe, of Frecker. It means that you can't have and settle for 2 seasons of F3. If you want to try and reach your dream of Formula 1, it has to be a 1 season of F3, 1 season of F2 type approach. And I don't think Belinsky's going to go out there and just completely struggle. I feel like he'll still be a contender. So I think Belinsky doing well. Possibly next season if he can get himself on the grid as well. So I've gone with him for Trident. I've put him alongside Stromstead. He's been a driver who's also been contending this season in that strong Trident car. So I have a feeling that he could be one to watch, could Noah Stromstead, as well as he gets promoted after 1 season. He's another one of those drivers who, well, let's say could do another season, but I just see moving up as well over to the Trident squad. And to finally end off, Van Amersfoort, I've gone with John Bennett to stay. Don't know where else he could go, and I think it just works. I think he needs another. He absolutely needs another season if his goal is still single seaters. So I've kept Bennett in Van Amersfoort. A few occasional glances in the top 10, so good. Leon returning back to Van Amersfoort is what I've gone for. We'll see whether that comes through. I guess that's just a bit of a prediction. With me going for Leon to get on the grid after 2 seasons in F3. To clear up a few other things, if anyone's made it into this part, I know it's a TikTok video and we've, nearly 9 minutes. So I need to actually hurry this up before the 10 minutes end. A few important things. I know Lindblad's not on it. My thoughts on Arvid Lindblad are, I would think that they may move him on to F1, even though I don't specifically think. I think a second season F2 would work, but that's just my predictions. So while I would probably want him to come back with us, I don't think he will, and I think Red Bull may choose a different route. Who knows? Or they might leave him on the sidelines completely. But I'm hoping that we do see him. Same with Dunn. I would like to see him back for another season, specifically because I know there's been a bit of contact. There's been a bit of issues across the season, so maybe it could assist with the racecraft if he's back with us, can learn a bit more and become that polished driver. But yeah, Dunn won't be ready for Formula 1 either. I know there's talks with Alpine. I'll do another video on that because this literally is about to end. And who's the other driver? Fornaroli. I think he'll get with an academy, and I think he'll become a bit of a reserve and test driver for next year. So those are a few answers. If I haven't explained anything, then let me know, and I'll absolutely do another video. But for now, we've got 3 seconds. So thank you for watching.